Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in! Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Friday. Means we're brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Working towards a weekend. I hope that work week's in the rearview mirror. If not, we will get you to the finish line. Alondra Villarreal and Braxton Rizzuto back there on the ones and twos. That's a lot of vowels, a lot of stuff, and I got it all out. I'm very excited that I got that done. That was a daunting task in the show open, but we did it. We got a lot to talk about here for the next 2 hours. Preston Guy, TigerBait.com here in 15 minutes talking Tiger recruiting. We'll go up to Omaha, Nebraska at 1:30. Peter Burns, SEC Network, is there. He's going to be a busy guy. They got 5 teams that he's got to cover here. Only one in action tonight. Ole Miss will play North Carolina in the nightcap this evening, which I am extremely excited for. We'll discuss that as well as tomorrow's games that includes Georgia and Texas. So looking forward to that. The Saints all 2006 through 2025 team, according to Pro Football Focus. We're going to get into that. We'll see if Braxton can nail that. He's a big-time Saints fan. He's been alive for 21 years. We're going after 20 years here. We'll see if we can get that done at 2:15. And I've got some fun memories from the College World Series to go back through an hour and a half from right now to kind of close out our Friday. So I'm fired up to be here. Hope you are as well. And we've got some really good news to get to. Let's start with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
I don't have a television on in front of me, but my assumption, which is rooted in some significant fact, is that the College World Series is going to start literally any second now. First game scheduled for right now, 1 o'clock. They usually start about 4 minutes after that scheduled television time. So within the next 90 seconds or so, the College World Series will begin. LSU is not going to play in the College World Series this year. That's been decided for a couple of weeks now. However, they're making a push to try to get back next year. And one of the biggest dominoes that could fall in that push fell earlier today. If you missed this and are just jumping in the car, just listening to me, have not been paying attention to social media or live at lunch, who covered it at the bottom of their second hour, Stephen Milam is going to be back at LSU playing shortstop next year, and that is massively huge news. You know, we've discussed this a little bit over the course of the last 2.5 weeks, and my contention was this. It was always possible that Stephen Milam could return to LSU. I didn't find it more than a 50-50 shot, but I certainly left the door plenty open for that. He is a flawed professional prospect in that he is 5'6". And he's never going to not be 5'6". So that's going to limit the ceiling that some MLB organizations put on him. And in this day and age, when you can make money in college sports, it might make sense to cash one more check here where you really like it, as opposed to going to set sail on your professional journey for one check and then nothing to follow it unless you make the show. I was having this discussion actually with my dad on the way into work today. We were chatting, and I was pulling up to a gas station on Nicholson, and we were discussing Stephen Milam and whether or not he would stay or go. It was before the announcement had been made. And I told my dad, as I was staring at the gas station, I was parked on the phone about to go in, and I looked at the door, and there was a life-size cutout of Stephen Milam sporting some energy drink I've never heard of. And I was like, well, there's some stuff going on here at least. I don't know. Maybe. And that's part of the deal. And I knew for sure that Stephen Milam really liked playing for LSU. And I knew for sure that he was a flawed professional prospect. He is today. He will be next July. But still, that opportunity to go chase a dream and play professional baseball is important to a lot of people. And there is money attached to that. And he would have gotten drafted in the first 10 rounds. There would have been a 6-figure signing bonus waiting on him. But LSU can match 6 figures to an extent. And it appears that's happened. And Stephen Milam's going to play shortstop for LSU next year. And there's no question about that. Dawson Park played shortstop for Texas State this past year. He's not playing shortstop for LSU this coming year. Stephen Milam's a shortstop. He is the best defensive shortstop in college baseball. He was this year. He will be next year. He's the best defensive shortstop I've ever seen at LSU. I've been watching this program every single game since 2006, and it goes back a little bit further than that in terms of keeping up with things. He's the best. And it is a massive piece to LSU, one, defensively in the middle of the field at the most demanding defensive position on the field, where a lot of college teams really struggle. LSU will be the best in the country. And offensively, this is a good player. I forecasted after last season that Stephen Milam would have a monster, bad pun, accidental pun, in fact, would have a monster season in 2026 because I'm going, okay, as a freshman, he hit 326 with 8 home runs and came on like crazy at the end of the year. Then he had a bad 2 months to start his sophomore year, but at the end of the season, he was as good a hitter as LSU had in the lineup. And so I'm thinking, okay, it was just a bad 25 games. If you take that out, he's just been a brilliant hitter. And I forecasted him to be a 330 hitter this year with 15 home runs and just be a superstar. And it turns out he just hasn't hit worth a flip in February of any of his 3 years and hasn't hit at all in March in all of his 3 years. But he's been great late in seasons, and he was again. So I'm not going to forecast Stephen Milam to hit 365 next year. I'm going to forecast Stephen Milam to hit 300 next year because he hit 295 as a sophomore in the national title team. He hit 296 this past year. I think he'll hit 300 again. I think he'll hit 10, 12, 14 home runs again. And that's a really productive piece. And when he gets white hot, like he will at some point next year, put him in the 2 or 3 hole, like Jay Johnson has. When he's scuffling, like he has the last couple of Marches, throw him in the 7 hole. Fine. But he's going to play shortstop every single day. Stephen Milam played this season with an injured labrum. He did not take pregame infield for most of the season, and he played through it, and he played tough, and he played hard, and he played great late in the season. This is a transformational piece that LSU adds back to its equation for 2027. And it gives me vibes of a couple of guys in the recent past. It gives me vibes of Jared Poche and Greg Dykman in 2016 into 17. They both had the opportunity to go to the draft. Poche was a junior. Dykman was a draft-eligible sophomore. Both guys spurned professional money when there was no NIL here, wanted to play for LSU. LSU goes to the national final. And then, of course, y'all remember, after 2024, Jared Jones was a draft-eligible sophomore, and he decided to spurn the money and come back to LSU to run a legacy of his own. And Tigers won the national championship behind him. When players with professional opportunities spurn those opportunities and come back to LSU, it's incredibly impactful. And Stephen Milam on next year's team is going to be incredibly impactful. I didn't know how Dawson Park would play at shortstop for LSU next year. I'm confident he has the tools to do it. He's dynamic. He's athletic. He's got great range. His arm is huge. Yes. Is he going to make every routine play? That remains to be seen. Stephen Milam, and I wrote this in my story at LouisianaSports.net, has been utterly remarkable defensively. One, with the spectacular plays that he makes. And two, with his ability to make the routine plays as well. Stephen Milam, over the last 126 games, has had 448 chances at shortstop. 448. He's made 9 errors. 9 errors, 448 chances at the position. Unbelievable stuff. Hat tip to the guys over at Go 24/7. Zach Nagy with the news first. LouisianaSports.net. We did confirm it with LSU. That news is massive for LSU. Now, let me get to the Cade Curlin side of this, because Cade Curlin did commit to LSU last night. I was fully prepared to come on here and give you what I know about Cade Curlin's future. And bear with me here. I checked with LSU and I checked with Florida last night to see what the likelihood was that Cade Curlin was going to play a 5th year of college baseball. Keep in mind, Cade Curlin was a freshman All-American who hit 17 home runs for Florida in 2023 when Florida and LSU played for the national championship. When you are a freshman All-American at Florida in the national final with 17 home runs, you do not play 5 years of college baseball. That stuff doesn't happen. And Curlin played as a freshman, was a superstar, had a down year as a sophomore, got hurt, had a shoulder injury as a junior, redshirted after 14 games, then came back and played this past year and was just okay offensively. He had some slug numbers, didn't necessarily hit for a great average, was okay. But at this point, he's an older player, time to start your professional clock and go most of the time. They don't play a 5th year. So I wanted to check with LSU what they had heard. I wanted to check with Florida, and I did. Surprise, surprise, here were what I heard. And you could predict this. LSU told me we feel pretty good about it. We think that he wants to play college baseball another year. Okay, what does Florida think? I check with Florida. Yeah, that seems like a leverage play. If he stays at Florida, you can't really tell if he's serious or not. If you decide to commit to LSU, that shows you're turning over a new leaf. You're committed to college baseball. You might pry a few more dollars out of the MLB teams and start your professional clock. I was even told by the Florida side yesterday that they would not be surprised if he signed an undrafted free agent contract if he wasn't drafted in the 20-round draft, which I would have a hard time believing. I think you're going to get drafted in a 20-round draft as a guy who can essentially, is a guy who can sign for relatively cheap. So I checked on both spots. LSU said we feel good about it. Florida said he's going to sign. Shocking. That serves both parties' interests, right? So I didn't really know. But I was prepared to get on here and say just the tea leaves on this. I've certainly never talked to Cade Curlin. The tea leaves on this would suggest unlikely to get to campus. Not impossible, but unlikely. Well, Joe Doyle just reported that Cade Curlin has withdrawn from the MLB draft. He's not even eligible for this draft. Now, this is something we've talked about. Is that possible? Is it not? It is possible. William Schmidt did it, and Derek Curiel said he did it. Stephen Milam said he did it. He came on this show and said he did it. And so what you now have between those two guys, I just ran these numbers right before the show. Between Cade Curlin and Stephen Milam, which is likely your middle infield in 2027 at this point, they have a combined 73 home runs. Curlin has 43. Milam has 30. 1,400 career at-bats, all as a member of Southeastern Conference teams. Not like he played 3 years in the Sun Belt and 1 for 10. No. Curlin's been at Florida for 4 years. Milam's been at LSU for 3 years. 1,400 at-bats as SEC players. 382 games between the two of them. That is your middle infield. And Cade Curlin, by the way, has played the last 2 seasons. Let me make sure I have this number right. I believe it's 5 errors between the 2 seasons at second base. But I wrote it at LouisianaSports.net. Let me click it and check. So defensively, that's wrong. 2 errors in his last 60 games as a second baseman. So you've got experienced guys, both in their 4th and 5th year, 9 years of combined experience when they play next year. Incredible defenders, powerful bats. This is as good a middle infield as you could hope for. I believe this makes Dawson Park's insertion into the lineup likely at third base. I know he's got plenty of arm to play third base. He's plenty twitchy enough to play third base. Yes, John Pearson is in that mix. Yes, Jack Ruckert is in that mix. Yes, there are really good freshmen that are potentially coming into this class. But you're building a foundation for this 2027 roster that is really, really solid. And those middle infielders are about as good as it gets in college baseball. It's just a huge, huge deal for LSU. You look back at what this lineup looked like 10 days ago with no Dawson Park, with no Bino Waters, with no Stephen Milam, with no Cade Curlin. It had a lot of question marks. Now, you had plenty of time to fill them. There was certainly nothing like panic, but you had a lot of question marks. The question marks are really drying up at this point. I got Cade Arambidi and Omar Cerna splitting time between catcher and DH, Mason Braun at first, Cade Curlin at second, Stephen Milam at shortstop, Dawson Park at third, Bino Waters in left, and William Patrick in center, either or right. You're missing an outfielder. You figure you're going to get a freshman that comes in there to compete, and you can go into the transfer portal as well. You still got walks out there from Tulane that LSU is courting, I know. We'll see what the credit card looks like at this point. They're running up the bill pretty strong, but that's what they got to do, and that's what is going to help you compete for championships. And right now, this offense looks really, really deep and strong. The pitching staff, I've got my worries. The offense, those worries are starting to dry up with a quickness. Stephen Milam and Cade Curlin withdrawing from the NFL draft. They won't be in that either. The MLB draft, they should form LSU's middle infield in 2027. Big news over the last 3 hours in Baton Rouge for LSU and Jay Johnson. Exciting stuff. We'll get you caught up on the College World Series here in 30 minutes, 15 minutes. Make it. Peter Burns is up there in Omaha. When we come back, let's talk some football with Preston Guy. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. It is storm season. I told y'all this. I guess it's like the 3-year anniversary. Paul Skeens was about to take them out against Tennessee. We had a storm come through Baton Rouge, and my power went out. And I could not watch Paul Skeens against Tennessee because my television did not work with no power because I didn't have a generator. So where'd I end up? At my wife's friend's parents' house. I love the Donahues. They're great. Did I necessarily want to watch the game at their house? Not the ideal circumstance. Don't be a Hunt Palmer. Be better than that. Get a Generac home standby generator from the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical Services so that when those afternoon thunderstorms come through, when that hurricane comes through, your power goes out, boom, that Generac generator powers on, and you are good to go. Give them a call at 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562. They are the local option, wonderful customer service. They'll monitor your generator 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're online at boudreauxelectrical.com. That's Boudreaux's Electrical Services.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. And join our VIP fan club. Text ROCK to 225-499-9898. Eagle 98.1, the rock station.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
They're underway up in Omaha, Nebraska. Troy and West Virginia in the first game of the day and the first game of the tournament. And West Virginia just hit a 4-hopper to the second baseman of Troy, who just flat whiffed it. I think things might be moving quickly for the Trojans up there in Omaha. I expect West Virginia to win that game. But we'll see. We'll keep you updated on it. It's the first game today. I am going to be locked in tonight for North Carolina and Ole Miss, which should be a fantastic ball game from Charles Schwab Field. We'll go to Omaha in about 15 minutes to chat with Peter Burns from the SEC Network. Right now, let's talk some LSU football. We do it every single Friday with our guy Preston Guy, TigerBait.com. He joins us on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Preston, how are you?
Hunt, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
It's going quite well. Since we last spoke, a flurry of commitments to the LSU football program from the high school ranks. I'm curious what stood out amongst all that. Obviously, the Jaden Bryant news kind of facilitated all the buzz, and LSU filled that need pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'll say this about the Jaden Bryant situation. It was interesting to see a recruit tweet out, it's go Tigers,
yeah,
or whatever he tweeted out. And then 4 hours later, not 4 days later, 4 hours later, he's flipping to Miami and shutting down his official visit. So it's done. So very interesting, fun situation. Just kind of let you know how fast a lot of the stuff moves behind the scenes. I think we all know that money and agents is a huge part of what's going on. I don't think very many people are naive enough anymore to think, well, this is all emotionals and, relationships and all that. It's not. No. When you go from publicly cheering for one team to flipping to another in 4 hours, it's more than just relationships and emotions and where you feel like you fit best. That being said, LSU turns around and lands a official visit from 5-star edge rusher, same position, KJ Green, and does a very good job closing up on him. I don't think that's mere coincidence. I think they used those dollars they had tied in with Jaden Bryant and were able to shift those to KJ Green pretty quickly. So good bounce back. LSU's back up to 2 5-stars in this class.
No doubt. And so I'm curious, just as you follow recruiting on the day-to-day, especially this time of year where there's a lot of camps, a lot of visits happening, and some commitments flying around, when you see a big-time decommitment like that at LSU or elsewhere, do you feel like, okay, they're about to get a commitment from somewhere else because they're going to shuffle the funds?
Well, in this day and age, you kind of have to make a little bit of an assumption there because, well, where are those dollars going to go, right? Unless it's really late in the process, there's going to be a kid out there who's going to want those dollars you had tied into that kid, right? That being said, I'm never the one who's like, oh, well, you had a 5-star decommit. It's not that big of a deal because you're going to get this guy. Or, it's not a big deal because, he wasn't that good anyways. Like, it's always a big deal to lose a kid who's a 5-star kid. It's just also a big deal to pick up a kid who is a 5-star kid. So it is it's a very interesting day and age where none of us can pretend that, it's actually about we can't all pretend it's only about where the kid actually wants to go play football,
Yeah, so let's go to the other 5-star in the class because he did visit Lincoln, Nebraska. It's Ahmad Hudson, of course, an LSU legacy on the basketball side from Ruston. So all the signs would point to LSU there, but there was some internet trepidation about Hudson's visit to Lincoln. How do you feel about where LSU stands there? Certainly they have his commitment right now.
Yeah, I've spoken to people close to the situation, and even while he was in Nebraska, there was a high amount of confidence. Like, it's hard to fault a kid to say, hey, I'm going to take my official visits because, I get a free trip to go somewhere. And, God knows what happens to any school. It's always smart to have backup options and relationships lined up. Heaven forbid a coach gets fired or, any of the other thousands of things that can happen to a program that might not make them a good fit anymore. So I think it's just a smart decision. Now, if I were a 5-star recruit, I would probably be lining up official visits to like Hawaii instead of Lincoln, Nebraska. But that's just me, my style. But no, not too worried about it. And the fact that he's coming to LSU next weekend for his official visit, that gives them even higher amounts of confidence in that situation. So I wouldn't hit the panic button on that one at all, guys.
Peyton Houston was in town over the weekend participating in some 7-on-7 action. I know you were out there on campus to watch a little bit of it. Give me what you saw.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and plug my content here. We actually put all 4 games I filmed on the YouTube channel for free. A rare free video out there. That one has blown up. Peyton Houston is an impressive young man. I would be remiss if I didn't take a minute or two to just talk about this young man who, if he had a 6 in front of his height, he would be a 5-star player. I have people I've spoken to who actually evaluate quarterbacks for a living who say if he had a 6 in front of his name, he'd be the number 1 player in the country. I've had other people tell me that it's between him and the kid committed to Nebraska, Trey Traylor, as who would be the best quarterback in the country. And understand, this is a guy who's got a realistic chance to break the LHSAA total yardage mark this year. certainly a chance to break the Evangel record held by Brock Berlin that Jawan Johnson broke a few years ago. He's had a prolific career, and I noticed how much he physically developed, okay? Now, I covered him a year ago. He was at the same camp. I thought I towered over him. He was a good 5'10", if even, right? He's every bit of 5'11" right now, which is not super tall by any stretch, but he's got long arms, and he's developed muscular. He's got a build that kind of reminds me of completely different comparison here, but Tyrann Mathieu, when he was in high school, he had long arms. Like, he didn't walk and carry himself like a short player. He felt bigger, and that's what you see out of Peyton Houston, and he absolutely tore it up, went undefeated in the 7-on-7 portion, reads the field well, has a pretty strong arm. He reminds me a lot of a Russell Wilson, where he's got a lot of mobility, reads the field very well, very smart, and can throw the ball well. Look, he is going to be a guy who probably will contend to be top 5 quarterbacks in the ratings. I believe if he were 6 foot, he'd easily be 5 stars. I don't know if they're going to give him 5 stars just because the height is a real knock on him. The measurables just simply aren't there like they are other kids. But that's it. That is your only knock. You can't say he's not accurate. He won elite every most accurate quarterback. I am very, I very much so approve of the way LSU went about handling their quarterback situation in this recruiting class, because it was not an easy decision to navigate.
So let's talk about something we just can't know, but I'm curious your opinion on it. Like, you've got Sam Leavitt, who we imagine will be a one into the NFL. He certainly has 2 years of eligibility remaining if he wants to use them. And then you've got 2 guys behind him that have plenty of eligibility remaining. Houston Longstreet has 4 years left. So where does Houston sit in this pecking order? And, like, what do you see as the future of LSU at quarterback? I realize how volatile that position is, but, like, that Peyton Houston feels like a long way from the field right now. Now, he's still got a year of high school to play, but, like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, the funny thing about this conversation, Hunt, is we're both setting ourselves up to look really dumb 12 months from now. Because what were we talking about 12 months ago? A bunch of guys who are no longer on your roster.
Correct.
We were talking about Bryce Underwood versus Michael Van Buren for that spot, Anyhow, all that to say, I think Peyton Houston, I don't know if he's going to be a year one guy, but I have talked to people where it's like, yeah, if you have to plug him in year one, he's polished. That's one of the things about a lot of high school quarterbacks. They'll have the arm strength. They'll have all this and that. He plays in a very pro-style, pass-friendly offense. I think he could go out there and put up some serviceable numbers and not look like a deer in headlights year one. That being said, that doesn't mean he's going to beat out those guys. I very much so see Sam Leavitt. Let's put it like this: the money you're Sam Leavitt, that's a one-and-done guy, right? He should be in and out and gone, and that's that. There's going to be no court injunction trying to get him a 10th year of eligibility or whatever, right? If it goes as planned. So you would think Houston Longstreet is there, right? He'll be in his 3rd year. I really do think that next year Houston Longstreet is probably your quarterback, or at least the most likely of anybody out there, right?
Yeah.
And then he would be very much so competing with Landon Clark, and I think that he would push Landon Clark pretty tight. Even though I'm high on Landon Clark, I like where that battle for that backup QB position would be. Regardless, I mean, I think that I don't think they're bringing in Pop Houston as a 1-year arm, and I don't think Pop Houston wants to come here as a 1-year arm. I asked him, I did an interview at 7-on-7. I said, so if it doesn't work out for LSU, is there any backup plan? Are you visiting any of those schools? He goes, no, sir, it's LSU or bust. So, that kind of shows you at least there's some sincerity in him wanting to stick around and earn it at LSU.
He's been committed through 2 staff, so that checks out there. Preston Guy with us, tigerbait.com is where you can find all of his work. He's with us every single Friday. Preston, have a great weekend.
All right, thanks for having me.
It is our pleasure. West Virginia just stole home in the first inning of the College World Series. It was sick. The Troy pitcher was left-handed, had his back to third base, went into the windup, fired home, and the West Virginia runner from third base swiped home for the first run of the College World Series. It's 1-0 Mountaineers after an inning. Let's go to Omaha, Nebraska, talk to Peter Burns next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. LifetimeRoofingLA.com is that website. Look, you can't get a lifetime workmanship warranty just anywhere in the roofing game. There aren't many places you can get a lifetime workmanship warranty, but you can get one from the folks at Lifetime Roofing. As of January 1st, they are thrilled to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty, which, one, covers the craftsmanship, two, covers the materials that are backed by CertainTeed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. So if you need a new roof, whether you're filing a claim with your insurance or you just need one retail, maybe you're selling your home or you just have an old roof you don't trust during storm season, Lifetime Roofing is happy to come out and do an inspection, do a repair, do a tune-up, and they can handle a new roof as well. If you're concerned about payments, they've got financing plans available, 0% for 18 months. If you qualify, you can also finance your deductible if that's sizable as well. It's a lifetime workmanship warranty. It's from the folks at Lifetime Roofing, a Baton Rouge-based roofer that can help you in South Louisiana into the Houston area as well. Lifetime Roofing, find them online, lifetimeroofingla.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last time you shopped your insurance coverage? Insurance Network of Louisiana can help. If you're a business owner, let my friends at Insurance Network of Louisiana see if they can find you better coverage for less money. They always offer exceptional customer service and partner with only the best providers. So check them out online today at lainsurance.net.
Eagle 98.1, the rock station. Home of the Woody Show in the morning. Scotty Mack with Rock at Work. Michelle Southern with Southern Rock. Home of LSU sports since 1998. And rock for Baton Rouge since 1985. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. To join our VIP fan club, text ROCK.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Greatest show on dirt. It is underway. West Virginia and Troy, game 1 of the action. Tonight, Ole Miss and North Carolina should be a classic. Tomorrow, got all SEC action. Oklahoma and Bama in the afternoon, and then the evening game should be the headliner, Georgia and Texas. Bummed I'm not there, but we might as well do the next best thing and go up to Omaha, Nebraska. Peter Burns, SEC Network, is there. He joins us now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Peter, thanks for the time. How's it going?
I just had to walk outside of Rocco's, a place in which LSU fans are vastly familiar with.
Yes.
So Yeah, so thank you for saving that because actually as soon as I walked in, like one of my liver, like my kidneys started shutting down, just like memories of last year in 23.
I love to hear it. I was there for both. We like that. Also a convenient location. See any LSU fans around? Any purple and gold still floating even though the Tigers aren't there?
That was my favorite thing when I first started working for SEC Network is I would come up here and the amount of LSU fans that over the years have just turned this into their summer vacation, regardless of whether or not the Tigers are there or not. Oh yeah, so I've seen enough Mardi Gras beads and some LSU fans, and trust me, the other Ole Miss fans and everybody else, they're enjoying that. But man, it's you know how it is. Dude, Omaha is one of the very few places that are still pretty special and feel like college sports actually still has a little bit of a soul to it.
It absolutely does. Is there a spot that you always go back to annually for a steak or for a cold drink or something that you always got to get to?
I mean, all of them. The Blat's pretty cool here.
Yeah.
I mean, Rocco's obviously just because of the memories that I have. I mean, I love going to, up next to the old Rosenblatt, there's a little baseball card shop called Stadium View, which is amazing. In fact, Herb Vincent, from former LSU SID, was texting me earlier saying I got to get my ass over there. So I'll be headed over there later today. And man, it's just the Drover. I mean, again, even if you've never had an opportunity to do it, it's one of those bucket list things where everybody knows what you're talking about. Like if you say Augusta, everybody knows.
Yeah.
If you say even Hoover in our world, everybody knows it's SEC baseball. But Omaha just becomes synonymous with a hell of a good time.
Absolutely, and you'll be a busy guy this time around. 5 SEC teams have made the trip. Just 2 last year, and LSU and Arkansas were playing each other a lot of the time, so it wasn't quite as spread out. But there will be 5 teams in action. It'll start with Ole Miss tonight. I've been very public with this. I think the way they're playing with their 3 starting pitchers, their closer and Hooks, and the way their offense is kind of clicking, I'm picking them to win the whole thing. How do you feel about this Rebels team as they descend on Nebraska?
Yeah, I mean it's a great pick because they remind me almost identical of the team that they were in 2022, right?
Yep.
They had to win on the road in regionals and super regionals, and a team that had a lot of talent, but finally kind of started putting it together. I mean, they were 9-15 in road games, and now all of a sudden they go 5-0 and they're starting to play it. So, they're going to throw Taylor Rabe in their first opener against North Carolina's ace. So. You know how it is on these things. You have to win game 1.
Yeah.
40 of the last 44 champions here in Omaha won game 1. And if you don't, you put yourself behind the 8 ball. So, I mean, I think they're as live as anybody. And then the game tomorrow between Texas and Georgia is just, it's ridiculous. No offense to Alabama and OU. That's going to be a great matchup, but that thing feels like a heavyweight battle.
No doubt. Let's talk about it because in 23, when we were there, the wind did blow out a little bit. LSU and Florida were hitting balls out of the ballpark with a lot of regularity. Last year, I was there for 2 weeks. It blew in the whole time. Jared Jones was the only LSU Tiger to hit a home run, and they won the national title. If the wind blows out, I know what Georgia's offense looks like. What if the wind shifts and it blows in? How do you feel about Wes Johnson's offense at that point?
Yeah, I asked that question to, a couple of the guys yesterday, including Trey Phelps and Daniel Jackson, and they said, listen, just because we can hit the ball out of the ballpark doesn't mean we can't hit it anywhere else too. So it's not a, feast or famine, Aaron Judge type, at bat form, and they're still live. But I do think the speed of Texas and just the amount of talent they have on in their whole bullpen. I mean, the pitching right now clearly favors, I think, Texas. They got 2 really good starters, and then Sam Coatsard coming in as an actual true reliever right now. So I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt because they can win in a multiple different ways. No doubt. I haven't seen this. I don't know if Jim Schlossnagle announced it yesterday and I just missed it. Is Dylan Volantis getting the ball for Texas tomorrow? Do you know the answer to that? If he's not, he's an idiot because, Volantis has been that dude. So I would imagine we'll get that, and Joey Volchko will be the 2 aces for those guys. And then, the thing is that Texas probably has 4 or 5 guys that are legit arms. I think Georgia mostly has 2. So that's why it feels like the winner of that Texas-Georgia game, I know everybody's like, oh, you need to make a pick. And I'm like, I can't pick. It's the winner of Texas-Georgia, I think, has such a huge advantage on everybody else over the field.
It very much feels like last year when Cade Anderson and Zach Root went at each other in that first game on Saturday. And LSU knocked Root out in the second inning. Anderson was great, and LSU was set up to win the whole thing, and they went on and did it. Same kind of vibes there. We didn't mention Alabama and Oklahoma. I still can't tell if either one of those teams is really good. The evidence would suggest they probably are there in Omaha. How do you feel about those two teams' chances?
They're legit, the little Spider-Man meme, like pointing at each other,
Yeah.
right? The colors are the same, and they're both teams that didn't, actually, really tear the cover off the ball during the regular season. I think they were, 12th and 14th in runs scored, and now all of a sudden they've found pop in their bat. Both of them averaging over 8 runs a game in NCAA tournaments. So now I think part of that is kind of who they ended ultimately playing, but they're coming in playing well. I give a little bit more of the nod to Alabama. I think between Zach Evans and of course, the way Tyler Fay has been throwing, I think their arms are a little better. And I just like the vibe that Rob Vaughn had brought. I mean, you think about a couple of years ago, we got the whole Brad Bohannon thing where he's gambling on the games and stuff, and now you get Vaughn in here. I mean, it's just, you get the right guys. And then now it's not going to get any easier with Kevin Schnall going from Coastal Carolina to South Carolina. This is just a freaking murderer's row of SEC and collegiate baseball.
It is that. LSU, of course, not there this week. That bums us out. But I don't know if you've caught the news of the last hour and a half up there with all the things that are going on in Omaha. Stephen Milam withdrawing from the MLB draft. He'll be LSU's shortstop next season. And Cade Kurland has done the same thing. The Florida transfer is not going to enter the MLB draft either. Those will probably be your shortstop and second base for next year. What does that mean for LSU?
And again, it means that Jay's coming in here and he's pissed off about what happened. And
that's correct.
I mean, that's great. There's a few things that I'm afraid of in life. One would probably be Jay Johnson not being happy and being dialed in, and that's what should scare the hell out of everybody right now. So the fact that Monster comes back is huge. You get Cade that can swing it, and then again, it comes down to it. You got to have two arms. I mean, you go back to days of Poche and Lang, or having, just two guys that can be your Friday night and Saturday night guys and some type of pin. And I know they had injury issues, and kind of whiffed on a couple of guys. But, I mean, again, I don't know any more of a person I would trust in college baseball than Jay Johnson to get that fixed.
Well, Peter, y'all do a ton of awesome stuff at the SEC Network, from 1 billion hours on SEC Media Days and covering the college football playoff and everything. But I enjoy nothing more that y'all do than your coverage in Hoover of SEC baseball, and then, of course, in Omaha. You'll be a busy guy this week. I know Dari will come in as well. But keep up the great work. We'll be watching. Hopefully we'll be back there next year.
I mean, think about it. We get DeLucci, who almost was good enough to play for LSU. I'm joking. Todd Walker, Ben McDonald, myself, and Jared Mitchell has done an awesome job this year with us on the coverage as well too. So trust me, we got the 225 locked in for our coverage of college baseball. And that means the world to me, man. Yeah, Jay Mitch, former most outstanding player of the College World Series. He's pretty decorated up there in Omaha. Enjoy a steak, maybe a cold drink, get some great work in. We'll be watching. Thanks, Peter. I'm gonna have 11 cocktails later. Love it. That's Peter Burns, SEC Network. I've been on that train with 11 cocktails in Omaha, Nebraska. Alondra, do you have any comment on that? Have you partaked at all?
Last year I got to partake in it. You basically lived in Omaha for 2 weeks. That was crazy.
I was talking to my wife this morning. I decided when LSU didn't make the NCAA baseball tournament that I was gonna go really hard on dieting in June, and I've dropped 12 pounds in 2 weeks. It's a lot easier to eat and drink a little cleaner when you don't live in a sports bar, which I did for 2 weeks.
Yeah, wasn't it also a casino?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't place any bets until the last night when I lost $100 at blackjack, but I didn't care because we'd already won the national championship. That's true.
Yeah.
But I did. I lived in a sports bar. I finished the show. It was 3:00 in the afternoon. The bar was 5 steps this way. The French dips and cheeseburgers and French fries were 5 steps that way. It was a disaster. It was a disaster health-wise. It was the greatest disaster. I hope I have another disaster next summer, but I figured I could be a little bit cleaner this time around. I'm making no such plans for next year.
No, not to be healthy, no.
No.
But I'm making plans to be in Omaha.
As am I. Looking forward to that. Let me tell you about One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years, redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Safety is a big, big deal in the bathroom, especially as folks age. If there's somebody in your life who is aging that you think may need some help around the bathrooms, do what you can to mitigate against that risk. Put in non-slip floors, guardrails in slippery places. You can put in a walk-in tub for comfort and convenience. You can also do a shower with a bench in it. David does that kind of stuff all the time. If you're not sure exactly what you need, have that free consultation. You can get that at onebathandclosets.com. Financing options are available, 0% up to 18 months if you qualify for it. David's been at it for 40 years. Let someone licensed, bonded, and insured make it happen for you. It's One Bath and Closets. You can find them online at onebathandclosets.com. Still 1-1 up in Omaha. Troy and West Virginia playing on in the bottom of the second inning. West Virginia has a couple on and nobody out. Looks like a gorgeous day there in Omaha. I still don't have a report on what the wind is doing. I'll figure that out probably once I get off the air, but that's going to be massive in this tournament. I've talked about it for 2 days. Now that I've gotten a lot of experience in Omaha over the last 3 years in that stadium, I know what it's going to play like, and I know what teams are looking for with the weather, and these teams are hitting the ball low and hard. They're hitting a lot of line drives. West Virginia stole home in the first inning, so they're playing some small ball, but I'm not sure if the ball's flying or not. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That'll matter a lot tomorrow night when Georgia and Texas go at it, but I'll get you a thumbnail on that if we can get a look at the flags there on the television broadcast. We'll come back and close out the hour next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
I love telling you about my friends over at Ochsner. You know, all May long, they were telling you about Stroke Awareness Month and giving you all of those signs to look for. This month of June here in the summer, they're just telling you that whether you're an athlete or just trying to stay active, Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute can help you get moving, and they can help you keep moving. You've got access through Ochsner to the highest level of specialized care. They've got nationally renowned expertise on staff, the latest equipment and modern facilities, and that includes a convenient walk-in orthopedic clinic there at Elite Training Complex on Burbank. If you're driving down Burbank and look off to the side, you'll see the big football field with the uprights. That's Elite, and they've got a walk-in clinic right there for you. So if you've got sprains, strains, minor dislocations, go on in. They've got on-site x-rays, and they can treat minor injuries. It's all there at Ochsner. You can find them online at ochsner.org/brortho. That's ochsner.org/brortho.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. Trusted by champions, built for Louisiana.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishGroup.com.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinela.com and tell them Matt sent you.
My name is Mike Krumholt, and I've been with First American Bank for 4 years. What makes First American Bank special is we're able to offer all the products and services that any other big bank can offer. What sets us apart is being able to give that small town feel that someone can pick up the phone and they can talk to someone or stop by the branch and get excellent customer service.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp.
Let me tell you about my friends at Gotro's Outdoor Power. They're online at gotrosonline.com, gotrosonline.com. Their deals right now on their Hustler series are fantastic throughout the month of June. We're about halfway through June, so if you haven't gotten in there, start thinking about making your trek over to one of the two locations they've got on Airline Highway and, of course, over in Gonzales as well. They've got fantastic deals on what is the largest Hustler inventory in the state of Louisiana. And through June, the deals are awesome. You're talking about the Raptor Series, $200 off, the Fast Track Series, $500 off, and their Hustler commercial mowers up to $1,500 off. You can get those deals throughout the month. You can also stop in next week, starting on the 15th, and you can get no sales tax on their in-stock units. So go by and see them, Airline Highway in Baton Rouge, and, of course, in Gonzales as well. Great deals on zero-turn mowers. That grass is growing this time of year. It's not going to stop until after Halloween. So if you need a new zero-turn mower, no better spot to go for that local customer service than Gotro's Outdoor Power. They're online at gotrosonline.com. I was thinking about this to close up the hour. My buddies were texting, and I was checking Twitter this morning at like 5:45 after my run, and I saw that USA was playing Paraguay in the World Cup tonight. And I fully support everyone grinding the World Cup and getting really excited about it. It's every 4 years. That's a big deal. It's the biggest sporting event in the world. You got people from all over the world that are in America. You got people at Waffle House. I get the whole deal. I found out we were playing Paraguay this morning, and I'm going to watch Ole Miss and in North Carolina tonight. And my friends just blasted me for this. Like, how could you possibly watch college baseball instead of the World Cup? And it's like, I just don't care about the World Cup. I'm not saying you shouldn't care about the World Cup. It's not for me. There's a lot of people who would say the College World Series is not for them. I think that's fine too. What I was noticing is that in this day and age where you stream the things you want to watch, you curate your own podcast, you control your social media, what you click on, the algorithm feeds you. And I've been listening to College World Series preview podcasts, and I know who the starting pitchers are for a lot of these teams that are coming up, and I've got the paths to the championship series, and I know when the games are, what times, and who's playing, and all that kind of stuff. And like, I don't know anything about the World Cup, like not a single thing. And I think in a bygone time, like 15 years ago when I was in college, like I would have just been watching SportsCenter, and SportsCenter would have been talking about the World Cup a lot, and I'd have probably had it on. I'd have probably learned some things, but I don't ever watch that anymore because, one, my TV's on Blippy or Spidey or Bluey or Monster Trucks 85% of the time, and two, like I'm curating all the things that I want to pay attention to. It's just stunning to me how little I know about the World Cup. I have no clue when Team USA's next game is. I have no clue. I think it's 4 teams that are in their group. I don't even know what time the game is tonight or what channel it's on. And that's like, it's just bizarre how much you can get in your own bubble. Like, are you going to watch World Cup tonight?
I'm not, but the game's at 8 p.m.
8 o'clock? So first of all, baseball is at 6. And if North Carolina gets behind, if Ole Miss gets up like 6-1, I'm probably going to turn it off. And so that would probably mean I'll head over to the World Cup. Unless Alyssa wants to put on Friends and Neighbors, in which case I'll watch that, which is really going a little bit sideways if we're being honest. But like, I don't care that much about the World Cup. I find soccer doesn't do anything for me. It does a lot of stuff for a lot of people. That's great. But Hanny said something this week that really irked me. This is another thing altogether. Somebody did a ranking of the top 100 players in the World Cup, and we don't have one. Can you think of another athletic competition in the world where America doesn't have a top 100 competitor?
No.
100?
100's a lot.
How is that possible?
Now, to be fair, there's a lot of countries.
And I'm going to be like simp American dude here that doesn't pay attention to soccer right here with this comment. I'm confident there's not a single dude that plays in the entire World Cup that looks like Saquon Barkley. Like, we got way better athletes than all those guys. And we don't have a single top 100 player? Come on. You're telling me one of those dudes in the World Cup looks like Derrick Rose in his prime or Russell Westbrook? There's no shot. We should destroy these people in athletic competitions. And we don't have a top 100 player? That means we just clearly don't take this serious. Right?
No, I agree. 100%.
Tell me one of these dudes from France looks like Saquon Barkley.
Mbappe.
Does he?
I don't know what you're implying. Okay, I don't know what you're implying with this.
He's 6 foot, 220, runs a 4.25, cuts on a dime, can squat 1 billion pounds. He's more athletic than every dude in the World Cup. And we don't have a 1-1 top 100 player.
Not one.
We're not even trying. Why do we even enter this then? We have a top 100 in everything. Watch the Olympics. We're the best at everything.
Cricket?
Yeah, I'm sure we're awesome at it. Probably not. But we just let Aaron Judge play cricket. He's better than all those guys. Just give him the paddle. Do you think any of those guys in the World Cup look like LeBron James?
No, but also, like, nobody here cares about soccer that much.
It's clearly the deal. But I'm stunned we can't have a top 100 soccer player. Not only do we have endless resources for sports development, we also have way more people than everybody.
And with soccer, you just need grass and a ball.
Yeah. The thing that got me, and this is the end of the hour here, is we lost some like World Cup qualifier a few years ago, like probably 10 years ago, 8 years, to some country. And somebody tweeted out on my feed, this did enter my algorithm, we just lost to a team that has the population of Corpus Christi, Texas.
Oh, no.
You hate to see that. That's hour one. It's in the books. You missed any, catch it on demand. We're back to close out the week after SportsCenter with hour number 2.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC, FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. The entire inventory is online at FabryChevrolet.com. Look, the Fabry family has been at this in Baton Rouge for 35 years. How do you stay in business for 35 years? Because you take care of your customers, because you prioritize customer service. That's what the Fabrys are going to do. Most people have had an unpleasant experience at a car dealership. You felt like the salesperson was pushy. You felt like you were being taken advantage of. You felt like they were trying to be aggressive, and you just didn't feel comfortable. That's not going to happen at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. If you're looking for a new vehicle, if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, they've got them there on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Maybe you got a new SUV on your eye because you got that new family vacation coming up and you got to pile all the kids into the car. You're headed to the beach, you're heading up to the mountains, you're headed to Grandma and Grandpa's house, whatever the case is. You need a new SUV, you need a used SUV. They've got them at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Go by and see them on Highway 61 in St. Francisville.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
I'm Billy Schmidt, and I've been with First American Bank for 13 years. I have a passion of getting to know customers, getting to know their journeys, getting to know their stories, and being a small part of that, and just continuing that, and taking those relationships and expanding out into the community, just to make First American a household name.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Benkin. The U.S. men's soccer team will take the field tonight in Southern California for its first World Cup game of 2026. The Americans will take on Paraguay this evening. It will get underway at 9 Eastern. It's an off night in the NBA Finals with the Knicks and Spurs set to play Game 5 in San Antonio tomorrow night. The Spurs will look to bounce back from their Game 4 collapse, but Victor Wembanyama says he and his teammates have already moved forward.
We're very confident, but yeah, game. I wouldn't say it was so hard to just say like shake off, right? But harder than any other game before.
Tomorrow night's game can be heard right here on ESPN Radio and seen on ABC. League sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter the NFL has closed its review of wide receiver Stephon Diggs after determining there was insufficient evidence to support a finding of a personal conduct policy violation. Broncos linebacker Jonathan Cooper was arrested Thursday night on multiple charges. He violated a protection order filed against him. The College Baseball World Series on ESPN, they're in the top of the third inning. West Virginia has a lead on Troy by a count of 3-1.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Monday, I'll tell you which NFL team that made the playoffs last season that I'm most concerned about heading into this season. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp. Appreciate you being here with us. College World Series is underway, and the offenses are wasting no time hitting a ton of line drives. Every time I look up there, there's a ball on a string. It's 3-3 at this point. West Virginia and Troy tied in the top of the third or fourth inning. My eyes aren't good enough to identify that scoreboard, so we'll get it figured out in time. But there are a lot of line drives being hit. My eyes are good enough to see that. So you're looking at you're looking at two teams without a true ace. You don't have Cade Anderson or Paul Skeens up there. You don't have Hurston Waldrop up there. You don't even have the guys that you're going to see from the big boys. You don't have Dylan Volantis. You don't have Taylor Rabe. You don't have Jason DeCaro. You don't have Joey Volchko. You don't have those guys at West Virginia and Troy, but you do have some capable offensive players, and they are certainly swinging it early in this game. And I would imagine both teams are going to go into that bullpen, which is going to make the winner of tonight's game between Ole Miss and North Carolina a very, very happy camper, because you're going to see some real bullpen arms used in this game, it looks like, because these starters don't look long for it from up in Omaha. We visited with Peter Burns back in hour number 1. You missed that, you can go catch it on demand. Peter's going to be a busy dude up there with 5 SEC teams to play. And we'll talk a little bit more College World Series as we move on. I wanted to have some fun here to elevate the vibes here on a Friday. I wrote this piece at LouisianaSports.net earlier today. When you think about the Jay Johnson era and the 2 national championship runs that LSU has made in Omaha, you think about the most impactful moments. You think about Paul Skeens and Rhett Lauder going toe-to-toe. You think about Tommy White's walk-off home run. You think about the Josh Pearson catch in left field in Game 1 of the finals and Cade Beloso hitting the extra inning home run there. You think about Ty Floyd's 17 strikeouts. You think about the dominant effort that LSU gave in Game 3 to beat Jack Caglione in Florida. You come into 2025 and you think about the Cade Anderson opening game outing against Arkansas, and you think about the walk-off win against Arkansas with Jaron Jones and the crazy play Hernandez hit into Cade's complete game shutout in Game 1 of the championship series. You think of Curiel's time there. You think of Milam's time there. You think of the headliners, right? And so what I wanted to do is just go like one layer deeper and go to some unsung moments that you may not immediately recall when I talk about those two runs, but I think I can jog your memory. It's just good vibes on a Friday. So I wrote about it at LouisianaSports.net, and I'll just walk you through some of the things that I talked about, some under-the-radar moments from LSU's runs in Omaha under Jay Johnson. You remember in 2023 that LSU started the College World Series against Tennessee, and Paul Skeens dominated in that game. LSU was leading 5-0. Tennessee could not sniff Skeens. He was brilliant, and he was through 7 shutout innings. LSU sent him back for the 8th, and Maui Ahuna, who was Tennessee's shortstop that year, singled to drive in Tennessee's first run in the 8th inning, and that got Skeens out of the game. 5-1, 8th inning, LSU still in control. Well, Gavin Guidry comes in and immediately gives up a 2-run homer to Hunter Inslee. It's 5-3. Now, if you're in that Tennessee dugout, game 1 of the College World Series, Tennessee did not throw Chase Dollander in that game. They went with Andrew Lindsey instead. So you now have some momentum. You've scored 3 runs in the 8th inning, and look, Skeens is out. So it's a tight ball game. Well, Riley Cooper gets the last out of the 8th inning, and LSU comes to bat in the bottom of the 8th. And winning 5-3, Braden Jobert hits a homer. And that makes it 6-3. And that just changed the dynamics of that game from a tight 2-run game where Tennessee suddenly has life without the big bad wolf on the mound. And Jobert steals momentum back with the home run, and LSU wins at 6-3. I thought that was a huge moment in that College World Series. Then Wake Forest beats LSU. LSU comes back and beats Tennessee. You remember Nate Ackenhausen threw the great game. I don't think that was under the radar. He threw 6 shutout innings. He was awesome in that game. But against LSU was going to have to beat Wake Forest twice. And in the first Wake Forest game, you did not have Skeens or Floyd available. They were not on enough rest. So you were going to have to beat the best lineup in the country without your 2 only starters. So who does Jay Johnson go to as the starting pitcher in that game? Well, he goes to Javen Coleman, who did not last very long. And you're going to have to figure out something on the mound. And so they went to a freshman, and they went to Griffin Herring. And because this game did not feature a lot of drama, Herring's effort might go a little bit unremembered. He went 4 2/3 shutout against the best team in the country offensively and allowed only 3 hits with 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. We know what Griffin Herring was in 2024. He was among the best relievers in college baseball. He was not that in June of 2023. And he shut Wake Forest down for the majority of that baseball game and allowed LSU's offense to go to work, and LSU won 5-2 to force that decisive game, which you all know is one of the great games in LSU baseball history. I think Griffin Herring's outing in that game was as amazing as almost anything LSU did in Omaha that year, because he hadn't his long outing of the year was 3 innings to that point. He went 4 2/3. It was incredible. So then you turn the page to game 5 for LSU, which was the Rhett Lauder, Paul Skeens game. You know the highlights from that game. Skeens incredible, Lauder incredible, Trey Morgan squeeze bunt, saved it, and then the home run that was a walk-off by Tommy White. Like, that's what you remember from that game. It was a 2-0 ball game. But what many might forget, unless you've watched the YouTube highlights 5,000 times, which I certainly have, is that after Trey Morgan made the squeeze play at home plate to erase the go-ahead run in a 0-0 game, Wake Forest still, at that point, had first and second with 2 outs, and Skeens was near the end of his rope. And the worst guy you could have at the plate, if you're LSU, was coming to the plate with first and second 2 out. And that's Tommy Hawk, who was Wake Forest's leadoff guy. He was a .351 hitter. He didn't strike out a ton. He was left-handed. He squatted down real low, and he swung like he was swatting at flies, just swatting the ball. And that's the approach you've kind of got to have against Skeens. I would much rather deal with one of their big sluggers who's probably going to swing through it. And Hawk, with first and second, 2 out in a 0-0 game, hit a screaming line drive to left field. I mean, had to be 105 off the bat. And it hung up for Josh Pearson. That moment in that game, if that ball gets down, whether it's left, right, short, or long, and not right at Pearson and left, LSU's going to lose the game. Because Morgan just erased the run at home plate, but there's another one that's going to score with 2 outs, and you made the play. That was absolutely huge. The second underrated moment from that game, when I say Thatcher Hurd, you think of probably the Florida game to finish it, and maybe what he did against North Carolina and Chapel Hill. These were 3 of the most impactful innings he ever pitched. I would suggest Game 3 against Florida was as important, but maybe not because he was starting that game and you had a chance to swing the bats offensively. In this instance, it is 0-0. He comes in the 9th inning. He pitched the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th against Wake Forest. When he came into that game, his ERA was almost 6, and he pitched 3 shutout innings. Did Wake Forest hit the ball hard at times? Yes. Did they threaten to score? Yes. In fact, his last out in the 11th inning, that there was 2 on, 2 out. Who was coming up? Brock Wilken, the all-time ACC home run leader, Wake Forest record holder for single-season homers with 31, Wake Forest single-season record holder for runs and for walks. And there's 2 guys on base with 2 out, and Thatcher Hurd's got to face him, and he got to fly out to center field. Thatcher Hurd's 3 innings in that game were absolutely as impactful as Trey Morgan's squeeze bunt, as Paul Skeen's first 7 innings of that game. You had to have shutout baseball, and Thatcher Hurd delivered it against Wake Forest, who was so good. Now, Tommy Tank stole the show at the end, but Thatcher Hurd probably goes unremembered in that instance. Now I go to 2025. Game 1 against Arkansas. You're looking at Zach Root against Cade Anderson, 2 of the best left-handers in the country. But LSU chased Root in the 2nd inning. Well, why? How did they do that? Well, you may not remember that LSU in the 2nd inning put runners at first and second with 1 out. And when you bunt with 1 out, like, you're giving up the at-bat. Usually a bunt's with nobody out. But they bunted with 1 out and runners at first and second because Daniel Dickinson's hand was broken. We didn't know that, but he had a broken hand. And he drops down a bunt with 1 out in the 2nd inning, and it's so good it's a base hit. It's a base hit on what was supposed to be a sacrifice bunt. That led to a 3 spot that was Chris Stanfield's RBI single and Josh Pearson's RBI fielder's choice, and that helped dent the scoreboard and get Root out of there. You don't chase Zach Root in the 2nd inning, which changes the entire fabric of the College World Series because Dave Van Horn's got to go to his bullpen in the 2nd inning of the first game. And Arkansas got sent to the loser's bracket. So Dickinson's bunt in the 2nd inning of the College World Series was so big, and it's even more exemplified because you realize he had a broken hand. Now we'll go forward to Game 3. That's the one where Jared Jones walks off Arkansas to advance to the championship series. Now Arkansas led 1-0 in that game because Landon Beidelshees, their soft toss and lefty, put forth a career outing and LSU couldn't solve him. Now Zach Cowan was matching him, but Beidelshees was just baffling LSU. And finally, in the bottom of the 6th inning, LSU got into a massive moment. Ethan Fry doubled. He represented the tying run. And then Stephen Milam got hit by a pitch. So Dave Van Horn had a decision to make at this point, 2 of them in this inning. He goes to Gabe Gackle at that point, who was throwing 96 miles an hour. His slider was unbelievable. And 3 nights ago, he had carved LSU up in relief of Zach Root. So LSU's got 2 guys on, and Jay Johnson elects to bunt Luis Hernandez. So he bunts the runners to 2nd and 3rd with 1 out for Jared Jones. Jared Jones strikes out on a slider. So now you've got 2 out. Remember, y'all, we're all going nuts about Jared Jones. Bench him. He can't hit a slider. Terrible this, terrible that. Okay. He strikes out. So now it's decision time for both managers. And Jay Johnson took Dave Van Horn to school. What happened was, with 2 outs and runners to 2nd and 3rd, Josh Pearson was coming up. He's left-handed. Gackle's right-handed and throws a lot of sliders. So Dave Van Horn didn't love that matchup. He walked Pearson to load the bases for Chris Stanfield, a right-handed hitter. But Jay Johnson had a bullpen, a bench bullet ready to go by the name of Jake Brown. Jake Brown's left-handed. He saw the Gackle slider. He punched into left center field for a 2-run single. LSU takes a 2-1 lead. Just a massive, massive bit of managing there by Jay Johnson to force Dave Van Horn's hand. He drops the bunt down, Jones strikes out. There's a base open. Van Horn incorrectly chooses to walk Pearson. He thinks he's getting Stanfield. Instead, Jay Johnson pinch hits for his junior left fielder who led the SEC, center fielder at the time, led the SEC in doubles with Jake Brown, gets the big hit. Huge bench moment from Jay Johnson there. But there was more. I thought a huge moment in the game that we may not think about as much because we think about the next inning was in the 8th. Because you remember Arkansas took the lead. LSU tried to turn a double play. They threw the ball to Jarrett Jones. Jones mishandled it at first base. It trickled away. The go-ahead run scored, and all of a sudden LSU is behind by 1 in the 8th inning. They never made misplays on defense, and they made a misplay trying to turn that double play. So you're down by 1 in the 8th inning. You remember Jones's last at-bat in the 9th that walked it off the line drive. But in the 8th, with 2 out and nobody on, down 1, Jones homered. Huge moment in the game to retie it and give LSU a little bit of life. Because all of a sudden you're looking up going, oh my gosh, Arkansas's bullpen's awesome. They've got a 1-run lead. We've only got 6 out to work with. Now we've only got 4 outs to work with. And Jones hits a homer. I think that was an underrated moment in the College World Series. And then I've got one more game to talk about. It's the clincher. Game 4, there's not a lot of unheralded stuff. Cade Anderson went a complete game shutout, and LSU scored 2 runs. Milam had a big hit early in the game. And that's the game. But in Game 5, I think there was an unsung moment. And it was a couple of guys who were great all College World Series long, but played huge key moments in Game 5. One was Chris Stanfield, who had gotten the big hit against Zach Root in the first game of the College World Series. And then against the Sun Belt Pitcher of the Year, Jacob Morrison, big 2-run single to left field to get the game going in the decisive Game 2 on that Sunday afternoon. When you consider how good Root had been all year and how good Morrison had been all year, for Stanfield to get those 2 huge hits was just awesome. And then I want to talk about Shores briefly, because you know he got the last few outs, but this is an underrated part of what he did in Omaha. When I say Chase Shores in Omaha, you think of probably a couple things. One, that he was throwing 101 miles an hour, and 2, that he threw the last pitch of the College World Series. That's what you think about Chase Shores. That's what I think about too. But also, you have to consider that this is a guy who entered the College World Series with 31 walks issued in 56 2/3 innings. So more than a walk every 2 innings. That's a lot of walks. He threw 7 innings in Omaha at 101 miles an hour the whole time. 7 innings, throwing gas. No walks. Not a single one. That's an underrated, underappreciated aspect of what Chase Shores did in Omaha. He was not only throwing so hard that college hitters were going to have a real problem with him, he was not walking anybody. When Chase Shores came in Omaha, you were going to have to hit to beat him. Now, Arkansas did it. They got 2 huge hits off of Chase Shores to score runs. They chased him from the game. LSU ended up going with Jacob Myers in the end of that inning in the 9th inning because they beat Arkansas beat Chase Shores. Just so happened that LSU came back and won late. But Shores did not allow you to have anything. You had to earn everything. That was an underrated aspect of that. So no LSU in the College World Series this year. Of course, the big news of the day is that some middle infielders that are going to be on LSU's team next year that are pretty salty. Stephen Milam coming back and Cade Kurland now withdrawing from the MLB draft. Maybe there's a trip to Omaha next year. But in any event, with these 2 weeks with the College World Series going on, there's enough good vibes from the last 3 years with that jog down memory lane that you can feel pretty good about it. So just a jog down memory lane. The ball is jumping at Omaha right now, though. We got the game on right now. West Virginia just homered in the left field bullpen. It is a slugfest between West Virginia and Troy. And if this is the case with the weather right now, you're talking about a College World Series that could be rather wild with the potent offenses that are up there. So we'll get an update on that coming up a little bit later on. Let's have some fun in our next segment as well. Pro Football Focus went back the last 20 years and graded all the Saints. What is the all-PFF Saints team from 2006 to 2025? Braxton has filled out his list. I've got the answers here. Give that some thought during commercial break. Think about your team of all-PFF Saints players over the last 20 years. We'll get to the starting lineup when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com. HighlandIG.com is that website. Look, benefits are tricky right now because the cost is is prohibitive in a lot of cases, and they know that at the Highland Insurance Group. If you're a CFO, you're a business owner, you know that benefits are really, really important to acquiring talent and to keeping talent in your organization. And it's expensive. The Highland Insurance Group is not suggesting they're a silver bullet, but they are suggesting they can be another option. There's one carrier in Louisiana that is really rising with the rates. You're looking to get the best health care, the best dental, the best vision that you can for your employees, but the rates are going up and up and up. If you just had a bad renewal, you feel apprehensive about the one coming up, contact Jonathan Carbo and the team at the Highland Insurance Group, and they'll take a look for you. They've got relationships with multiple carriers. They can get second opinions. They can give second options to see if you can save some cash, because we know that bottom line is tough when it comes to benefits. Contact the Highland Insurance Group. They're here in Baton Rouge. You can find them online at highlandig.com. It's the Highland Insurance Group, highlandig.com.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Speaking of Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp, let me tell you about them because they bring you our Friday shows every single week. Check out the menu, corksfishandshrimp.com. You can go by and get a late lunch right now on Government between Foster and Jefferson. Unbelievable shrimp po' boy. They give you catfish po' boy as well. Jumbo Gulf shrimp, clean, crispy fried catfish. The shoestring fries are awesome. They got your honey butter rolls. It's great. Stop by for a great dinner tonight as well. They got the big haul is what they call their kind of bulk order. If you got like a Hester-sized family and want to feed like 1 million people under your roof, they can do that over at Corks. They also are happy to do catering. So if you've got a graduation party that's coming up, if you've got a family reunion coming up, maybe you've just want to feed the office on a Friday or something like that, Corks is great with catering to get you the big trays of everything that they've got. So check out that menu, corksfishandshrimp.com. They are on Government between Foster and Jefferson. Great partners here at the Hunt Palmer Show. Bring you our Friday shows each and every week. All right, Pro Football Focus did a cool thing. They've been around for 20 years now, 2005 through 2026. So you're talking about 20 years of data that Pro Football Focus can offer. And they're doing a deal where they go through the last 20 years of every NFL organization and come up with a starting lineup. There are 12 on offense and 12 on defense, one extra, but 12 on each. And they did the Saints earlier this week. And so Braxton is a lifelong Saints fan. I've got the list in front of me. What we're going to let Braxton do is try to guess over the last 20 years what this Saints starting lineup looks like. So Braxton, let's open the mic, and we'll start with a softball. Quarterback's obviously Ian Book, so we'll move forward off of that. Who you got at quarterback?
Well, I was going to go with Jameis, but we can go with Drew Brees.
Drew Brees at quarterback is a pretty safe bet. He is your quarterback for this squad. So we'll move on from that softball. Let's go to running back, where you've probably got two options, maybe a third if you consider Reggie Bush, but probably two options.
I did Deuce McAllister and Alvin Kamara.
There's only one running back. And
Alvin Kamara is the one then.
Alvin Kamara is the one running back there. Mark Ingram did run for 1,000 yards, but Alvin Kamara is your guy. Now you got three wide receivers to choose from. Give me your wide receiver number one.
Marcus Colston.
Marcus Colston is one of the top three wide receivers. How about number two?
Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas is there as well. There's a third wide receiver. Who you got?
Lance Moore.
It is not Lance Moore. You got one more guess, and then I'll give you the answer.
Devery Henderson.
It is not Devery Henderson. What you got, Alondra?
Can I give you an unlikely guess, or maybe
Sure.
People? Is it Olave?
It is Chris Olave. A couple of 1,000-yard seasons for Chris Olave. So your skill position players on the outside: Breeze, Kamara, Michael Thomas, Marcus Colston, and Chris Olave. Two tight ends. What you got?
Jimmy Graham and Benjamin Watson.
Jimmy Graham is correct. Ben Watson is not. Now you got to think a little bit outside the box on this tight end. That gives it away. But what you got?
Jeremy Shockey?
Nope. Taysom Hill is listed as a tight end here for the purposes of this.
I like it.
Those are your skill positions on the Saints offense. Now let's go to the offensive line. You got a left tackle for me?
Teron Armstead.
Teron Armstead is your left tackle. How about right tackle?
Ooh.
Guy could be going to the Hall of Fame, one of the best in the league for a couple of years.
Ramczyk.
Ryan Ramczyk is your right tackle. I don't know if he's going to the Hall of Fame. He didn't play a very long time, but he was as good a right tackle as there was in the NFL. So that's those are your two tackles. At the guards, who you got over the last 20 years?
Let's see, I got Jari Evans at one. I didn't get a second guard.
That's okay. You're young for this. Some people that are in their 40s are like, are you kidding me? Yeah, the Saints had the best guard duo in the NFL when they won the Super Bowl. It was Jari Evans on the right side and Carl Nix on the left side. So those two guys are phenomenal players, multi-time All-Pros, and those are your guards at center. Who you got?
Eric McCoy.
Eric McCoy is your center. So that's your 12. Up front, left to right, Teron Armstead, Carl Nix, Eric McCoy, Jari Evans, Ryan Ramczyk. Drew Brees under center, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Marcus Colston, Jimmy Graham, and Taysom Hill on the outside. Now, let's go to the defense, which I think creates a little bit more intrigue. There are some names here that might surprise you a touch. PFF is not necessarily right in line with Pro Bowlers all the time. So let's go on the defensive line interior here. What do you got for defensive tackle?
We got David Onyemata and Sheldon Rankins.
Sheldon Rankins is not a terrible guess. You got to go a little bit further back than that. Brian Young is actually correct, which was 2006 to 2008. How old were you for that?
Two.
So I'm not going to be too mad at you for that. But Onyemata is a great pull. 2016 to 2022 when the Saints were as good a run defense as there was in the NFL. Brian Young in there as well. Got a couple of edge players for me.
Cam Jordan.
Yes.
And Carl Granderson.
Carl Granderson is a better guess, but there was one really good year in there for Marcus Davenport, who had a big year on Pro Football Focus. I realized that he wasn't the draft pick that everybody wanted. It didn't pan out great for him, but those Pro Football Focus is looking at some metrics like that.
Lamar.
Those are your two edge rushers. Linebacker.
We got Demario Davis.
Yes.
Jonathan Vilma.
Should be. That's a better guess than the correct answer. I think that's a great guess. That's what I would have said too. I think this is ridiculous. I don't even know what the PFF metric is that puts this guy in the conversation, but it's not Jonathan Vilma.
Pete Warner.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Pete Warner.
Over Vilma?
That's a bad take.
I don't like that.
It's a bad PFF take, but it's not my list. It's PFF's list. There's one linebacker as well. who has appeared on this station a number of times.
I feel like I'm supposed to know this.
Goes on with Matt a little bit. Still keeps his toe in the media. Was on the Super Bowl team. Y'all are babies. Scott Fujita. Scott Fujita is the answer. He was a linebacker there on the Super Bowl team. So that's your linebacking core: Demario Davis, Pete Werner, and Scott Fujita. I don't know maybe Pete Werner did a good job in the coverage or something. I don't know. Maybe a good blitzer, but I'll take Vilma on my all-time team. All right, so you got 3 corners. What do we got, Braxton?
We got Marshawn Lattimore.
Absolutely.
Tracy Porter.
No, good play. Not as good as this guy in the totality.
Roman Harper.
Roman Harper is good. And that's another SEC player, just not from Alabama.
Yeah. Malcolm Jenkins.
Malcolm Jenkins is one of them at Ohio State. You got one more SEC player that's got to go back to 09 through 13.
09-13. I don't know. That one's not too much ringing a bell.
Nope. Jabari Greer is the correct answer there, former Tennessee Vol. So you got Marshawn Lattimore and Malcolm Jenkins coming from Ohio State, Jabari Greer there. And then you got 2 safeties.
Well, on here I had...
Tyron.
Tyron is correct.
Yeah. I had Tyrann and Roman Harper.
Roman Harper's a good guess as well. Marcus Williams did a really nice job for the Saints before he signed in free agency. So, yeah, that's one, I think, of all the misses you had. I'm not mad at you for missing Brian Young. You were 2 years old. I'm not too mad at you for missing Marcus Davenport because he was basically a bust. Certainly not mad at you for missing Pete Werner, and not mad at you for missing What about head coach? Yeah, well, Dennis Allen's the obvious pick there. PFF did a phenomenal job. Who were some of the coaches they had while they were while Peyton was like out on suspension? That's the good stuff. Because they had a coach and then he was suspended, so he couldn't coach. It was a special teams coach. I can't even remember who it was, but
it's not the one that Rizzi or something.
Yeah, Darren Rizzi was on there as well. Who coached the Saints? I mean, there are people that are listening.
Isn't he the special teams coach?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And he was the coach when Dennis Allen got fired.
Yeah.
When Sean Payton was suspended. This is really good. While I search it on the internet, Joe Vitt. That's who I was looking for. I was looking for Joe Vitt and Aaron Cromer were the coaches when Sean Payton either was suspended or got COVID.
Perfect.
That's who they went to. But nice job, Braxton. How do you feel you did on that?
I think I did pretty good. I mean,
ball knower.
Yeah, I mean that's just from the Saints being on in the background, and I guess my dad gives me a little bit of knowledge here and there.
There you go. There's you look at the Saints all PFF team for the last 20 years. Thought that would be fun, so we ran through it here on a Friday. We got 30 minutes left to go. I'll get you caught up on a little bit of LSU baseball, the news of the day, and then we'll do a little College World Series, and that'll be about it for us. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com is the website. That's FABT.com. But don't go to the website. Go to the bank. You're thinking, well, where is it? Well, there's 25 of them in Southeast Louisiana. You can find one pretty quickly if you're in the area. Whether you're here just outside Baton Rouge, Dutchtown, or Jones Creek, maybe you're down the bayou, St. John, Lafourche, Terrebonne, maybe up the I-12 corridor. You can find one in St. Tammany in Tangipahoa Parish. There's also a location in Metairie. No matter where you are in Southeast Louisiana, First American Bank and Trust is there, and they've been there since 1910. That's 116 years, y'all. Go with the local option. If you're looking for a commercial loan, First American Bank and Trust. Looking for a personal loan, First American Bank and Trust. And you can trust, if you will, that decision based on your situation is going to be made locally. Not some call center in Atlanta, not some call center in Chicago. You pick up the phone, you call First American Bank and Trust, you get Southeast Louisiana. So if you're looking for a loan, commercial, personal, First American Bank and Trust, 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana, online at FABT.com.
At Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer, we know you deserve value when you purchase equipment. Right now, take advantage of the powerful 3025E tractor for just $297 a month, with 0% financing for 72 months. Tractor packages with a trailer also available. Whether you're tackling land, property, or projects, get your job done. Don't wait. This offer ends June 30th, 2026. Some restrictions apply. Visit sunequip.com or stop by a Sunshine location today.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at fabrychevrolet.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Love telling you about my friends over at Marucci. You can find them online at maruccisports.com, but don't go to that website either. Go to Marucci. Take a tour of the home of the official bat of Major League Baseball. Literally the best players in the world swing Maruccis, and you can go see how that process is borne out when you take a tour of Marucci. They make 1,200 bats every single day. You can see where they're cut, see where they're stained, see where they're shipped off to, again, the best players in the world. You can also learn the story of how they went from a backyard shed to the official bat of Major League Baseball in 22 years. It's an incredible story right here in Baton Rouge. Also, if you've got a youth baseball or softball player under your roof that wants to work during the summer months on his or her game, they got the Hitter's House. If you get a membership, you can get key card access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take some swings and work on their indoor facility. You can do that if it's raining, if it's 102 degrees, if it's dark, if it's light, if it's morning, if it's night. It's always open over there at the Hitter's House. Go check them out online at maruccisports.com, but just go see them over there at Marucci. All right, moving along here, Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Got about 20 minutes to go here. Troy and West Virginia tied at 4 in the 4th inning. Been a bit of a slugfest early on. Neither of those two teams has a true ace, so not shocking to see the offenses swing the bats well. But based on what I'm looking at on the screen, the ball's jumping a little bit in Omaha, and that's not the case last year. It has been thus far. Now, a lot of line drives by those teams, but we'll see. As I mentioned in the last segment, I think Ole Miss and North Carolina are going to be pretty satisfied with the way this game is going, because you're probably going to see a lot of pitchers being used by these two teams if this keeps up. The starters just haven't missed a lot of barrels to this point. So we'll see. I'll talk a little bit more about the College World Series coming up, but I want to revisit the biggest story of the day, which we talked about an hour and a half ago. I always say this, but if you've been with us for an hour and 38 minutes, I really appreciate it. But most of you have not. So I'll go ahead and kind of revisit the story that we talked about at the top of the show. Stephen Milam has officially withdrawn his name from the Major League Baseball draft. This is not stunning news. I went on record suggesting that Milam certainly had a door open to returning to LSU. I thought it was less than 50-50 because that's just kind of the way it goes with juniors in college baseball, but he's a flawed professional prospect. He's not a flawed college baseball player. He's a great college baseball player. And so what LSU now returns with Stephen Milam is the best defensive shortstop in college baseball, and you are pairing him very likely with a second baseman who's extremely experienced and wonderful on defense as well. That is Cade Kurland. Cade Kurland, according to Joe Doyle, has also removed his name from the MLB draft. When this news broke that he was transferring from Florida to LSU last night, I sent feelers out in Baton Rouge and Gainesville to kind of check the temperature on it. LSU felt they had a really good chance to get Kurland to school and keep him out of the professional ranks. Keep in mind, he's already played 4 years of college baseball, and Florida felt like he was going to sign. No matter if he was drafted or not, he was going to sign an undrafted free agent deal, give professional baseball a chance, and then move on to his potential career, which is going to be in finance. He's a finance major, is probably destined for a hedge fund somewhere, and that may be delayed a little bit because he's going to come to LSU. He is not putting his name in the Major League Baseball draft. So LSU now likely has a middle infield of Stephen Milam and Cade Curlin. That likely pushes Dawson Park to third base. John Pearson will compete. Jack Ruckert will compete. They're going to bring freshmen in that are very talented, and I don't think they're done in the transfer portal. But as I said yesterday, and now this is even more evident, I feel like LSU is probably, not definitely, probably low on funds for next season when you consider Landon Hood's the top pitcher in the portal. He's coming to LSU. Bino Waters is the top hitter in the portal. He's coming to LSU. Dawson Park, a coveted draft prospect next year, he's coming to LSU. And you're bringing Stephen Milam back. And as I said yesterday, you still have to leave funds off to the side for the high school kids. You've got to take Major League Baseball and hit them with a broom to keep them off your signing class, which you struggled to do last year. You got to have funds to do that. So I'm a little surprised that LSU's got enough money to do this with Stephen Milam. As I mentioned in the first hour, I saw a Stephen Milam life-size cutout at the gas station I went into today, so there are clearly financial opportunities for him here in Baton Rouge. But you can't imagine that there's just endless money over at LSU for baseball. High amount of money? Yes. But here's my concern, because there's not really any on offense. I'm looking at what I've drawn out offensively for this team. You've got Cade Arambidi and Omar Cerna splitting time at catcher and DH. You've got Mason Braun at first base. You've got Cade Curlin at second, Stephen Milam at short, Dawson Park at third, Bino Waters in left, William Patrick in center. You got a question mark there in right field. And you've certainly got the opportunity to dive into the transfer portal a little bit more. You got the opportunity to get some freshmen to campus. There's always a freshman at LSU that comes through. If you look back over the 5 years that Jay Johnson has been here, like Jake Brown broke through on that team that went to went to Chapel Hill and was good. So was Stephen Milam on that team. Derek Curiel was sensational last year. Braun and Cerna were great this past year. You had Kason Evans last year as well. You've always had freshmen that have stepped up and been key pieces to what LSU is doing. The 23 team is probably an exception to that. I can't think of, off the top of my head, a freshman that was a huge contributor on that team after Jerry Jones kind of lost his job to Beloso. But there's usually a freshman that steps forward, and it stands to reason in a class that has as many good players as this one does, they'll have some offensive freshmen step forward. All of that said, I'm not completely comfortable with the pitching staff. You had the second worst ERA in the Southeastern Conference this year. And what you're telling me is, aside from Landon Hood, you're kind of running it back. And that's scary to me. Jay Johnson will tell you, as he told Michael Cauble this week, Evans will be better, Moore will be better, Schmidt will be better. You add in Landon Hood, Paz will be better, Ricken will be better. Go to the left-handers, Lockenmeyer will be better. You go to Ethan Plog, he'll be better. Santiago Garcia's back. There are some talented dudes here, but it's a lot of the same guys that were pitching to 5.5, 6 ERAs this year. And to suggest that they're all going to just flip a switch and become Anderson and Ianson and Shores, or become Skeens and Floyd and Riley Cooper and that crew, and they're going to become Griffin Herring, I hope so, but it seems like it's optimistic. And this is a conversation that I always have. If you're talking about some talented pitchers, some good pitchers who can go out there and, get drafted high, LSU's got that. But when we have an LSU baseball conversation, we have conversations about winning the national championship, right? And it's hard for me to jump from what I just watched in a pitching staff that, yes, Evans got hurt. Yes, Moore got hurt. Yes, Schmidt got hurt. Yes, everything kind of snowballed and your defense wasn't very good. But it's hard for me to take 9-21 and just flip that into 19-11 and a top 8 seed in a national championship. That's a hard transition to make on the mound. So I'm hopeful there's one more trick up the sleeve for a dynamic arm, whether it's an All-American type closer or a probable weekend starter. I'm hopeful that's in there. Because all of a sudden, if you pair that with Landon Hood and Kason Evans and William Schmidt and Cooper Moore, and you tell me that Paz is kind of becoming a closer or that kind of thing, it becomes a little bit more digestible, a little bit more reasonable. I don't mean to dump cold water on a great day for LSU baseball, because getting Stephen Milam and Cade Curlin to bail on the MLB and come back and be your middle infield next year is a huge deal. And this LSU offense looks championship level good. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I feel great about the pitching today. I'm not panicked about the pitching, and I trust Nate Yeskie more than most of y'all do, and I think that there's real potential there. But they got to upgrade. Either everybody has got to elevate their games, or you got to bring in a couple more guys. We'll see. It's a great day for LSU baseball. Don't misunderstand me. But I am analyzing the entirety of the roster, and I'm going to need a little bit more pitching help than what they've got right now, because counting on a bunch of guys to lower their ERA by a run and a half, 2 runs, is a lot to ask. It is. We'll see. West Virginia is forcing Troy to go to the bullpen early in this ball game. That's exactly what Ole Miss and North Carolina want to hear. We'll come back, touch on that game, and then we will go to take it or leave it and get out of here. It's a Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Weekend's here. A lot of y'all have got that week in the rearview mirror. Quitting time may be close for some of you, the rest of you. You want to play some golf, but you don't have 5 hours? Go to Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. I told y'all earlier this week, when we were waiting on our guests to come in and play for a spot in Swing Easy Golf Club's Summer League, I fired up the simulator by myself, brought my clubs, was waiting on them, and I was playing Cypress Point, and I would have finished 18 holes in about 45 minutes. So if you want to take a 5-hour golf round and instead play it in 45 minutes to an hour, that fits into your weekend schedule better, Swing Easy Golf Club's awesome for it. You can play Pebble Beach. You can play TPC Sawgrass. You can play that course they give out the green jacket for. It's all right there on the swing simulator, and it's awesome. They're on Segan at Perkins. Great place to play some golf on the weekend. Bring some friends, crank the tunes, drink some cold beers or seltzers. They got them up front. Got the television on. You can watch college baseball. You can watch the World Cup. It's all there at Swing Easy Golf Club. Online at swingeasygcbr.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Look, back pain can sideline you from the things you love. That's why I trust Dr. Kevin McCarthy and the team at the Spine Center of Louisiana. Dr. McCarthy doesn't just treat symptoms. He gets to the root of the problem. From advanced injection therapy to minimally invasive surgery, they've got the expertise to get you back in the game. With 5 locations across Louisiana, including right here in Baton Rouge, quality care is close to home. Call the Spine Center of Louisiana or visit spinecenterla.com.
I've been in banking for over 35 years. I usually start about 7:30 in the morning, and I usually leave somewhere around 5, or if customers need me to meet them at their house or their business places, I don't mind going after hours. I have done churches, subdivisions, retail centers, hospitals, and nursing homes. And that's why we chose to live in this community, because of the values First American Bank has, that I can serve my community and my customers.
As a business owner, you're always focused on how you can improve the bottom line. Well, when was the last...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Switchfoot. Is that
so
right?
Close. So
That's
close.
wrong?
It's wrong.
Hold on.
This is like when you thought Vertical Horizon was Matchbox 20.
I knew those. That was like, there's something on the tip of my tongue with
They
an
have
S.
one song and it's this one.
The Reason. Hoobastank.
Yes.
Got it. Nailed it. That's got to be like 9th grade.
I don't know.
The Reason. Hoobastank. They were brainstorming, and that's the band name they came up with.
Hoobastank. Let's do it.
Probably do a little bit better than that. 5 for West Virginia up in Omaha. Looks like a gorgeous day there in America's heartland. I'd like to be there 365 days from now. See if we can do that.
My Hunt Palmer playlist, by the way.
I appreciate that very much. You know I'm going to see the Goo Goo Dolls next month. No.
Wait, stop.
August.
Where?
The Wharf, Gulf Shores. Me and Alyssa going over.
Y'all are about to have the best time ever.
Could be some drinks. Just the over-under.
I mean, mom and dad out.
The over-under on drinks is like 418. So we'll see. By the way, let's play Take It or Leave It. Running out of time.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Hungover Alyssa, take it or leave it.
Take it. Although she's probably going to have to drive me home, so maybe not as bad. Maybe the second night.
All right, for real. Take it or leave it. Rocco's.
I'm going to leave it. I had a Jello shot in 2023. It's always so crowded, and there are other bars I like more than Rocco's. The location's great. I like the Blatt. I like the old Mattress Factory.
The Mattress Factory is cool.
Is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's where I spend most of my time. But I like the hotel bars around the corner, too. Rocco's is just so crowded and so loud. It's just not my scene. It's a very and plus, in 25, like I wasn't out getting hammered drunk. I was working until like because LSU played at 6 every night. I was getting off at like 10 sober. Everybody in there is canned. So like that's not the scene I was looking for at that point. So I haven't spent a lot of time in Rocco's. I'm pro Rocco's. I think the Jello shot thing is funny. If they're going to send a bunch of money to charity, that's great.
Yeah.
But it's just not. It's not where I go.
The Drover, take it or leave it.
Take it. Great whiskey steak. I have not been there since 2013, so it's been a minute, but it was very good in 2013 when I went. Quintessential Omaha place, very casual, but good steak, great salad bar. I'm in on the Drover.
The Henry Dorley Zoo.
Yep.
Take it or leave it.
I've never been. I'm going to leave it. If I'm in Omaha, probably not going
to the zoo.
Now, if Myers comes or Keller comes and their kids, and we got a day off or two or something, then that may introduce that. But if I'm there, it's going to be at the ballpark or at the bar or the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to the zoo. But I hear that it's apparently that and San Diego are like 2 of the best zoos in the country.
Okay, Omaha, I was not familiar with your zoo game.
Yeah, they got it.
LSU's headed for Omaha next year. Take it or leave it.
Take it.
I'll take it.
I mean, I have to take it, right?
Let's go.
They're showing Ole Miss coming through the hotel lobby. That gives me the feels. I have been there. That's the Hilton. Yes, that gives me great vibes. They got to. Now, as I just said in the last segment, they got to pitch better, and I don't know where that's coming from, but let's hope that it's coming from the guys on the roster.
The U.S. starts 1-0 in World Cup play tonight. Take it or leave it.
I mean, take it, but maybe not take it. They're playing Paraguay. That's a small country, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like in South America.
Give me a Paraguay population as I look at this.
Paraguay population. Let's see. It is 7.1 million people.
Okay, well, that's quite a lot smaller than us, but it's bigger than I thought it was. We should beat Paraguay in everything. I don't care. Beat them in soccer. I can't name one player on the team. Go America. Can you name one player on the team?
On Paraguay?
No, on our team.
No.
America?
Landon Donovan?
Freddie Adu.
I hate this question. The Spurs are done. Take it or leave it. Answer carefully here.
I would leave it. I don't think they're done. I mean, they dominated.
Spurs in 7.
They did a good job in game 3, won the game, and they were in complete control of game 4.
Yeah.
And they're at home. I don't think they're done. The Cubs won. They're down 3-1. Cubs,
Yeah.
but I knew the Cubs were way better than the Indians at that point.
So
Do you know the Spurs are way better than the Knicks?
Yeah, I think the Spurs are technically a better team than the Knicks. I think they're just younger and dumber than the Knicks are.
Well, dumb is bad. So hopefully that gets done. Is that it, or we got one more?
No, that was it.
That was it? Good, because we only got 30 seconds left. So that'll do it. Our Friday show is brought to you by Corks, Cajun Fried Fish, and Shrimp. If you missed any of today's show, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. LSU football, Preston Guy. You can find that at Hunt on LSU. Always talking Saints every day. You can find that at Hunt on Saints. And we're back on Monday. I believe Matt is out today. Sounds like he's flying to Vegas, so Musso's going to drive you home. He's going to be in a good mood because Stephen Milan's back. Have a great weekend. Back Monday.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. FabryChevrolet.com is the website. That's FabryChevrolet.com. They're on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Go check them out. They've got incredible deals all month long on their trucks. If you're looking for a 2026 Chevy Silverado, you can get one. 0% APR financing for 36 months. That's throughout June. That offer stands. Same thing goes for the 2026 GMC Sierra 1500s. You can get those at 2.9% for 72 months. And look, if you're looking for a Chevy Trailblazer, maybe a Chevy Trax, those are as low as $30,000. If you're looking for a new vehicle, Fabry Chevrolet GMC's got you covered. Looking for a pre-owned vehicle, Fabry Chevrolet GMC has you covered there as well. You can go to the website, FabryChevrolet.com, and sort. Sort by price. Sort by make and model. Sort by mileage. Sort by new or pre-owned. All that is at your disposal right there at your fingertips. Go see them, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Fabry Chevrolet.
Box combo for George. I see you, Luis. Food's on the way.
Please don't. Hey, you know you can use your hands, right?
Got those box combos for you. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
At Parrish, we're built for tough players and tough roofs.
Coach is tough on us about preparation, and Parrish brings that same championship mindset.
Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing.
ParrishBuilt.com.